What's the deal with Christmas? You know, I recently became aware of a Christmas controversy between Starbucks cups and the label of Christians. It seems that this year Starbucks put out an all-red coffee cup that is void of any kind of holiday symbolism. Because of this, it's been reported that this cup design seems to have enraged some supposed Christians. Now, even though this seems to be a ridiculous news bulletin, I think that on a deeper level, this gets right to the heart of the problem when it comes to the Christmas season. Let me explain. First off, I would assume that this story is being blown way out of proportion. The reason being is because Starbucks has never featured a coffee cup that has had anything to do with Christmas. Let's take a look at some of the Starbucks cups from Christmas past. You know, you might have noticed the word Christ in the beginning of the word Christmas, as in Jesus Christ. So, do you see anything to do with Jesus on any of these past cups? I don't remember any verse in the Bible where it says something like, "And with thy hands you shall build thine snowman." So I seriously doubt that any true Christian is getting infuriated over a simple Starbucks cup. Now there is a deeper issue though, and that is the fact that it seems that the word Christmas is being replaced by the word holiday in every place we look. In order to be politically correct, many people want to refer to this time as the holiday season. From where I stand, I'm not surprised at all that some people want to make stamping out Christmas their sole purpose in life. The Bible makes it clear that things like this would eventually happen in the future. It's also pretty clear from the Bible that Jesus was probably not born December 25th. Most likely he was either born in the spring sometime between March and April, or in the fall sometime in September. I lean more towards the spring date. I'll put some links below that go into more detail about this. Getting back to the issue, even though the exact birth date cannot be determined, December 25th has been the time chosen to commemorate that birth, and some people have a problem with this. Some people don't want Jesus in the picture at all. If this is going to be the case, then my question is, what are you celebrating? The fact of the matter is that if you take out Jesus, all you're really left with is corporate materialism. Ho ho ho, Santa says buy Coke. Santa says buy Pepsi. Santa says buy this and that. Happy holidays. You've just been duped into the corporate consumer machine. Just think about this.
Hi!
Hey. What are you celebrating?
We're celebrating the holiday.
What holiday?
You know, the holiday season, where we buy presents.
But why do you buy presents?
Because it's the holiday.
See how ridiculous this circle is? When Christmas is removed, the holiday becomes the time to buy presents. And we buy presents because it's the holiday. Basically, it deteriorates into a meaningless practice with no rationale behind it. Even when you look at the articles that broke this Starbucks story, you can see this empty circle in action. For E-Online, they're not concerned with the lack of symbols on the cup this holiday season. They're just happy for any cup at all, because this means we are just that much closer to getting presents. But remember, E-Online, take out all religious beliefs, and there's really no basis for any such thing to happen. So why are you doing it? So basically you're buying presents because you've been told to buy presents. You're spending money for no reason at all. Perhaps if you're not Christian, and you really want to protest the religious beliefs behind the holiday, while trying to avoid the consumerism, I would suggest just going into work on the 25th. Just refuse to take the days off. That'll show them. To be fair, this materialistic view of the Christmas holiday should also be seriously examined by people of faith. For some of those people, their internal thought process might go something like, I know I'm supposed to be celebrating the birth of someone that's offered me eternal life filled with love, peace, joy, and dreams that come true as I have them, but, you know, I'd really also like the new iPhone. Jesus didn't direct his followers to store up treasures on earth. Instead, he directed his followers to sell their possessions, give to the poor, and pick up the cross and follow him. And when giving to the poor, he specifically said to not make a big show of it. Jesus said, "Take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men, to be seen by them. Otherwise, you have no reward from your Father in heaven. Therefore, when you do a charitable deed, do not sound a trumpet before you as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory from men. Assuredly, I say to you, they have their reward. But when you do a charitable deed, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, that the charitable deed may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will himself reward you openly. You really want the Christmas spirit? Then donate to a homeless shelter on some random day that's not a holiday. Make it an anonymous donation and never mention to anyone that you donated anything. That's the real Christmas spirit. That's the true Christian spirit that St. Nicholas had back in the 4th century. This was a man who distributed his wealth to the poor, most often anonymously. Many people think that the Santa Claus of today is based upon St. Nicholas, but the fact of the matter is that Santa Claus is nothing like him. Let's do a rundown of Santa's characteristics. So we know Santa Claus is presented as a kind humanoid figure, described as an elf. He uses magic, and he flies, which is interesting because St. Nicholas didn't do either, and he also wasn't an elf. He is dressed in red, he offers gifts to people, he travels all over the world, and probably what's most interesting, it's claimed he is above all humanity, which is a God claim. It's claimed he judges right and wrong, and has them written down, which also is a God claim. He sees everything, and knows everything, which, again, are God claims. And, of course, most famously, he's described as eternal. It's weird how it says, thank God that Santa is eternal, but what about God? Let me now list some Bible verses describing another biblical figure with similar characteristics to Santa. I would suggest pausing this video now and take a moment to look these verses up for yourself. Okay, so you want to know who Santa most represents? The answer is in his name. Just mix up the letters. So instead of this, like it was done in the Old Testament, now it just looks more like this. So even though Jesus is removed from your commercial holiday contract, looks like you still have that good old Satan clause. It also makes me wonder, is purposefully lying to our kids in very convincing ways good for their mental health? What studies have been done that show this to be the case? Try telling them the truth, but the person who is the truth. Try finding the truth for yourself, the true meaning of Christmas, who is far more wondrous than anything we could possibly think of, and a far better gift than anything we could find under a tree. Yes, Virginia, Jesus does exist. Thank God that God exists, and He is the truth, and the way the truth means life, and we need to listen.